Hello and welcome back to the channel. So one of the main reasons that I have this YouTube channel is the fact that the new version of democracy and feminism has caused men versus women. It has caused more trouble than reality. Like the movement that once was done by Kate, the founder of feminism, led to the fight that men are versus women. It's never been like that. Look, thousands of years and centuries, women were having a specific part of the family, men were doing something else. Let me elaborate, make sure you understand. Women used to take care of the children because they can give birth to the child. Men used to go take the food, take the resources. Also, fast forward today, it's exactly the same. Men would be able to and like respected if they can provide for the family, if they can bring the resources, bring the food, bring the money, bring the car, everything. If your car runs into a problem, you ask a guy as a mechanic most of the time. I know there might be a female mechanic also, but most of the time the mechanic is a guy to fix the car. If you want to take care of a place and you call the police, you expect the police to be actually a male police because he's stronger physically. Look at the sports. In the sports, why do, let's say, men football and basketball generate billions of dollars in terms of, let's say, the reviews and people go to watch this kind of things? Why not women actually get that many of views? Because if you see the women playing a sport, it's not really exciting. It's not really spectacular. But men, when they do it, for example, when you see Cristiano do a bicycle kick, or you see NBA players dunking, that's really beautiful, and that generates a lot of viewers, a lot of people. And if you talk about the money that they get paid, based on the billions that they actually generate for the industry, they're getting like close to 7% of the actual kind of money generated. But for women, it's 20%. I will link it down in the description so you guys can go on exactly specifically see what I'm talking about. Because the statistics don't lie. When the numbers talk, nonsense walks. So if they want equal pay, they need to do the equal job. I gotta be very honest with you. They don't do equal work. And they want the equal pay. And that's the problem we have these days. Because what we're facing is that, okay, you have the opportunity to be who you want to be, but most people do not know who they are actually. Like you say pronoun, theirs, ers, theirs. What is this, man? They don't know. They say, who are you in a family? You're a he or a she. They say, I am they, them. Don't disrespect me. What is this, man? It's nonsense. They're crazy. What's the meaning of any of this? Physically, you're born into a body, okay? But maybe you feel like you belong to a different kind of gender. So, okay, change your gender and be that person. That kind of makes sense. But if you want to complicate the things, it's just like nonsense. And that's the problem we have these days. And look at it as a bigger scale. All these things don't happen randomly. You're smart to think about this. The governments have made this upon the citizens. Why? Because if the women feel like, yeah, you can do whatever you want, yeah, you're powerful, she needs to work. If she works, she needs to pay the governmental tax. So the government will have two people as paying the tax to the bigger umbrella. So they're profiting of this. You see? When women would think like, yeah, we don't need men. Go look at this kind of thing. It's really disturbing the way women and feminists these days actually react. They say we don't need men. And I'm not saying it because I'm a guy. I would just give you the statistics. 99.8% of bricklayers for construction are men. Have you ever seen how struggling those people's lives are to put the layer brick by brick to build a wall? I never seen a woman do that. It's a really tough job. And that job would construct the houses that we have. So you need to respect that person who does it. The people who are actually working at the mines, a lot of them are men because it's a physically demanding kind of thing. And women cannot do it because, let's be honest, 1 week in a month, they're not going to be able to function because they have bleeding period and physically they go through a lot of, let's say, stress. So men have to take care of them. So if they take care of you and they feed you, you shouldn't bite the hand that feeds you. That's all I'm trying to say. But these days it's like, we don't need men. Why do we need men? We are strong, independent women. But go and look at them, those strong, independent women. I know because I've been encountering them and very close to them, and I know. It's like on the surface they say something. But when it comes down to the reality of what they do, they want someone who's stronger than them, they want someone who's richer than them, and someone who can provide for them. It's not like they look for the equal thing. Women date up. They want someone with bigger resources, better everything. Even if they are independent, even if they make a lot of money, they never settle for less. Rarely you can say, okay, maybe there was one person who did it, but they don't do it. And also, we come to this kind of perspective of a lot of, let's say, problems that happened in the centuries, in the decades, that there were like kingdoms and empires falling, happened because of women. Why? Because she does something based on the feeling that she gets, not based on the real fact. She might feel like, yeah, what you said made her feel in a specific way, and she reacts to that. She doesn't react to the statistics. That's why there are a lot of tests, there are a lot of psychological games, there are a lot of these kind of problems. Because women would react based on the feelings that they get. So it's not what you say, it's how you say it. That's why you see a lot of women fall in love to the singers who sing a really good song, who can actually do a really beautiful kind of talking. And the most womanizer kind of people are not the billionaires, are not the athletes, are not those kind of people. They are the people who can talk really well. So if you can talk really good, they would like you to listen to you. And women fall in love with their ears. So if you tell them good stuff, they like to hear that, they will keep coming to you and you can talk to them, and it's a very beautiful kind of thing. Tell them what they want to hear and they will be there for you. But if you go and tell them the truth up front, they would walk away. Imagine this: you have a rough day, you go to a woman and say, hey, I have a rough day. What they would tell you is that, no, you will be fine, don't worry, you're strong. But if she tells you that she has a rough day, you should say that, yeah, okay, don't worry, it's okay. Tell me they talk. Because women, they have a thing that men do not have. Women have a think of group talking and thinking. It's like when they sit in a group, they share most personal thing. I mean, I have seen it personally, that they would share most personal messages on any kind of social media app, show pictures, talk about discrete, very personal kind of experiences, sexual, anything. There's no shame, right? They just talk about all these things. And they think that that's the right thing to do. But us men, we don't usually do that. Maybe to one friend you talk about very, very, let's say, personal thing, but not in a group. But they do it in groups. And I've been in those kind of environments and I've seen it. And I was like, wow, it's not very comfortable to be there. So all I'm trying to tell you guys is that just think about this and try to process it, that everything that happens for a reason. It's not a random thing. And today that we're marching toward this kind of era and in this kind of world, feminism and this kind of situation that, hey, we don't need men. I mean, you need to respect the man for the things they have provided. Look at the fact that Kate, the founder of feminism, she did not have a father that was there in the family to take care of her. So psychologically, she had a gap of the father in her personal life. That's why she hated the guy so much that she developed this kind of feeling. If you want to fall into a cult to follow someone, at least do yourself a favor so you can educate yourself on that topic that you want to talk about. So you know and understand who made feminism. She was great at her PhD and she sold millions of the copies of the book that she had. That's why she gained a lot of popularity and a lot of fame, because her perspective resonated with a lot of people with the same kind of issue that Kate had, which were like people that were like single mothers, people that had some bad experiences with their father. Daddy issue is a problem, you see. And those people followed her and she gained a lot of popularity. But if you want to follow her, look at these days, what's happening. And it's not like men or women are against each other. They would complete a kind of, let's say, life, because her strength are his weaknesses and vice versa. Women pay attention to a lot of details. Women are really smart, emotionally, like really intelligent, and you should really know that. But they should also learn to respect, because thousands of years men demanded respect. You cannot disrespect a man. I was watching a video and it said that these days women don't get approached as they used to actually get approached. And the reason is that you don't feel like the right vibe. They feel like, hey, they are like queens or princesses and they are living in the la la land, and they feel like they are superior and they demand more. So if those girls would depict themselves as guys, it would be very difficult to even start a conversation, because you feel like, hey, what is this? I might get rejected. They might just walk away and laugh at me. There was a feminist. I will search for the name and I will put it down in the description. There was a feminist who actually changed her gender into a guy and tried to date women. After a short while, she committed suicide, because what she actually see women behave was really wild. And she thought prior to this experiment that she would be really good because she understands the women's psychology, but she just failed, because women, they're really friendly to their peers and their friends and they're really cool, but when it comes down to a guy, they are really having a lot of expectations these days. Why? Because you open up a dating app and there are lines of people waiting to actually talk to you. So that does a lot of things psychologically to you. They feel like, okay, if this is behaving like that, I have another one to come right away. So you feel like, hey, I am something. But you should know the fact that you have all those kind of rights within a very short period of time, because your peak will come down as you march toward the 30s. These are all the truth that I'm saying. I'm gonna be unapologetic about it, because truth hurts, but that's the thing. So these dating apps, what they cause is that a lot of people are really like sorry and sad these days. They don't feel that kind of power. They don't feel that kind of happiness anymore, because something has been taken out of them. Look at Instagram, for instance, and Facebook. They were made and let's say analyzed deeply psychologically by Mark Zuckerberg and his team. So they are trying to hook you up in that app. When you go inside, they try to make you stay in the app. Why? Because the longer you stay on the app of, for example, Instagram or Facebook, the more chances they have to do the advertisement. They would feed your advertisements and they are making money on that. He had a very famous meeting with Donald Trump, and he said that he's going to donate $600 billion within the next few years. Just think about it, how much they're making so they can do that. You might be thinking like, okay, how is it even possible to make that much money? Well, they do it with big kind of advertising kind of agencies. And since a lot of people are the users of these free apps, a lot of them actually subscribe to the paid version, the premium. Even if you don't, they would actually benefit based on the ad walls that they send you. So if you multiply that to vast majority of people that they use it on a daily basis, well, you have it. And it was really interesting that most people that use Instagram are female. Most people that use YouTube are male. Very interesting, because the concentration of women is like less. They can think about multiple things at the same time. We know that men would go deeper into a subject and try to learn off that, so they can actually go learn and improve. Personal development kind of journey is mainly dominated by guys. If you watch the let's say the seminars for the personal development, a lot of them, vast majority of people are the guys. Maybe a few women right there. There are a lot of similarities between women and men because they both are human and everything, and they both complete each other, but psychologically they're quite different. So you should understand the differences between them. So, because what I basically witnessed is that the way you treat your female friends, the way you treat your male friends, is not going to be the exact same. Because you say the same thing, it's not going to result the same kind of results. You need to understand to take care of the women, of course. Be very kind to them, provide for them, try to take care of them, because they need someone who's stronger than them, and they need to have this kind of sense of supporting. But at the same time, you don't need to do it to every woman. And you don't need to do it too much, because if you do it too much, into their eyes, you would be a simp. You would be a guy who's weak. You would be a guy who's desperate. That's the thing I'm saying. It becomes a little bit complicated. And if you can understand where to distinguish this, where something ends and the other thing begins, you'll be able to maneuver over in your life. But it's easier said than done, because usually there is no exact line to understand where something ends and something begins. Yeah, I'm curious to know what you guys think about this topic. Feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you think. And by the way, everything that I say is based on my personal experience, so maybe your experience might be different, and I would respect that. I believe sharing is caring, and we should talk about these things to come to a group kind of wisdom, so we can understand what's going on, and yeah, have the freedom to tell what you think. That's totally fine. And yeah, see you guys in the next video. You're gonna probably like one of these two videos that pop up also. So yeah.